sure nobody here can guess who that is. I'm sure you can't guess. Maybe you're expecting to see a bow tie like mine, but you guys are about to. Now, I want you guys to increase your attentiveness all the way to another level. University of Lagos, join me as I bring up on stage immediately Mr. Olakunle Soriyan. He's here because I told you guys you were not expecting this. Jam your hands together until I hand this over to him.
Catching a flight in the next couple of minutes. It's very important that I quickly do what I have to do and leave. It's a honor and a privilege to share this moment with you. I have hoped and I've convinced myself that it will be a good time for both of us, myself and you guys. So I'm just going to go straight to the point. The issue I'm supposed to talk about is about 7-star worker, and honestly, I can't have a better topic to talk about than that at this time. I have spent about $40,000 over, say, 4 or 5 years asking questions about how people think and about how people can embrace their options and the kind of strength they can employ to be able to take control of those options and run with them as a matter of supreme urgency. To be honest, I've asked those questions in different countries, between Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, Ghana, and looking at those qualities that are special that the average African can embrace and can allow him to grow and to expand and to make the kind of impact that the world can be grateful for. Between you and I, the odds are totally against you as you sit here, essentially because you are black. Being black has a lot of weight, and you need to begin to think from that perspective and understand that there's a lot against you simply because of the pigmentation of your skin. You've had 2 major experiences in your history that honestly conditions you in ways you don't even want to imagine. Both of them will be slave trade and colonialism. What they have done is to mark a reputation for you and define a limit. And then you are going to have to make the choice to accept that limit and walk within that channel, or to just create some kind of new path for yourself. What I'm going to say now is not what I'm saying as a speaker or as some professional. I speak to you now as your brother, as an African, as a Nigerian, and for someone who has been where you are. I spent 12 years in university studying a 4-year course, all right? Hello. Honestly, if you don't clap for me, you will help me to be faster. What I'm saying is that if I use your clapping time to speak, I want to finish on time. So I'm saying don't even clap for me so that I can be faster, honestly. Alright, now the idea is that I spent 12 years on campus studying a 4-year course. 2 months to my final exam, I was asked to leave the university, of course. At that point, my nuisance value on campus had increased so much. I was a cultist and I was on drugs. I've tasted everything from chewing gum to cocaine. Hello, are you all there? So I gained admission in my first year, joined the cult immediately. I was doing about 7 carryovers per semester, at times more. So let's do an average and say, by common denominator, you are doing 7 carryovers per semester, meaning in a session, you are doing like 7. To multiply that by 4, you have about 50-something carryovers. So you will, and because there's no repeating on campus, so you will be in your 400 level, but not in your final year. So you then have carryovers of incredible weight and to carry for 4 years. So it was impossible that I should graduate. Have you met confident ignorance before? Have you seen people who know nothing but they are not aware? Okay, that was where I was many years ago. I was confidently ignorant, confidently unaware, and I was just busy trying to make impressions. Now, what had happened was I left the university and I tried as much as possible to do some things for myself. It wasn't going to work. Part of what then happened to me was that if I talk like this, I salivate uncontrollably because, of course, you don't use drugs for 10 years and be normal. So it was understandable that I should just be salivating and I wouldn't know. People have to remind me that I was doing that. I mean, drugs have really slowed me down. But somewhere along the line after I left school, and I apologize for those who are Muslims here, I'm not trying to offend your faith. If you commit to someone, go keep at it if it works for you. But that's not what I'm saying. But what had happened to me was that I gave my life to Christ. And then, no offense, I said I would have to use to other faith, no offense for your faith. But that was my experience. If it was John Good that helped me, I would have said so privately. But it was Christ that helped me. So I gave my life to Christ, and then I had to start all over again. I went back to school, same university, same campus, same course, same lecturers, children for classmates. And I did 4 years, plus the first 4, making 8 years. And the school, for reasons best known to me, would not give me a degree. So I started the third time actually. So I did 100 level 3 times, 200 level 3 times, 300 level 3 times, 400 level 3 times, one school, one campus, same lecturers, children for classmates. I know how to finish. So I didn't have 12 years on a campus, and in those 12 years I learned a lot. I think I'm the first person to do refuse collection using what do they call that thing that push a cart to move from house to house. I think I'm the first person. I don't know anybody that did that before me. It was a shame and an embarrassment to do that. I did that because I didn't have a choice. Nobody was going to give me money to go to school again, and justifiably so. I tortured my family so much. To choose not to give me money to go to school was kindness. They have other choices. They could have poisoned me, shoot me, or kill me, or something. So that was my lot. So I had to begin to labor and to think and to accept responsibility for how I was going to go. At that time in my life, I decided that for the rest of my life going forward, this hand, this brain, under God, was going to create space for me. And I'm going to have to defend and promote my space under God. Listen. So I continued to do that, and I did refuse collection for a while, saved some money, began to fumigate, and saved some money, went into barbecuing. I started barbecuing at Charlie Boy bus stop in Bagada, where I was arrested by Operation Sweep for illegal marking. By the time they brought me back, all my barbecue was burnt, and I had to start the next day with 300 bucks. Those experiences were not funny at all. I was not smiling when I was going through them. They were a very tough time in my life. And then after 12 years, somehow I got a degree in a third class. Between you and I didn't care what class it was. It was a pass. I would have taken it off to say, what's after PQ, right? If it was a pass or a RAS or a JAS, I would still have celebrated. I just wanted something to say that I was a graduate. And I got that studying economics in my university, and then I left. Listen, but it's a different ballgame right now. All right, I'm married to a queen. I live in a good house. I travel business class. I run a fantastic business. I pay people every month. The difference is that I have been able to solve problems at a level consistently, and I've been able to create space for myself. That space is important to many people. It gives me contentment and inspires me to keep going, but I have a bigger space to occupy. And for that reason, I keep thinking, I keep solving problems, and I'm going somewhere. I've made up my mind that I will pass through this world, but I will not pass unknown. That people are going to recognize that I came. Billions have come and billions have left, and many are leaving unnoticed. But you have a choice, to make up your mind that you are going to make a kind of contribution, so that your world will recognize that you came and that you made some contributions that allowed some people to find inspiration and strength. That is a choice that everyone in this room will have to make. The bigger problem is that nobody wants you to make that point. Nobody wants you to make that impression. Nobody wants you. The system does not want you. And you need to recognize the limits of what the system can offer. Part of what you have been deceived to recognize is the fact that you've got a body. For those of you who are girls or the boys who are 6 foot tall, broad-chested, and all of those nonsense, there's a place for all of those things, except that if you think like me, at some point you are going to be 60, and whether you like it or not, you'll be 70, 58. My prayer is that you will live long. But when that begins to happen, a lot of things will also be happening. Thank you so much. A lot of things will be happening. Part of that is that your dentition will change, your leg will bend, whether you like it or not. Your back will go this way, your tongue will change color. You won't always look, if you use cosmetics at a particular age, you look like a witch. You just have to accept that this is you in motion. Hello? This is you in emotion. At a particular point, if boys look at you, you must have a problem. Because age has transcended you from a point of attraction to a point of responsibility. And at that point, people don't care how you look. They care about the size of your pocket, the quality of your thinking, and the kind of problems you can solve in society. So, you need to begin to accept that kind of thinking now before society begins to take that look at you. The least of what you have is how you look. The best of what you have is invisible. And that's the quality of your thinking and the strength of your character. Now you have a choice to drive your life. You have a choice to drive your life by that, or to accept the distraction and the smallness of container. You must never forget as a young person that you have very few things working for you. Part of what you must work with is the reality between a content and a container. There's nobody in this room that will pay for Coca-Cola liquid content only, right? That's what you pay for. Have you ever paid for the bottle and feel proud and take the bottle home and go and put it on your shelf? No. Because when you pay for Coca-Cola, it's not for the bottle, is it? It's for the drink, right? Because what you are doing is you are paying for the real quality, which is not the container of the thing, but the experience that the thing can deliver. So when I look at you right now, there are two things about you. There's your container, which is what contains the true experience that you can offer. Your content is the superior quality. And when you invest, or when you pride yourself in anything, you need to first of all make the distinction between your container and your content. And so many people are spending time on their container, building their container, dressing their container, and their content is getting weaker and weaker, and impossible and incapable of giving them space as they move into the future. In the short run, as a young person, the standards of respect and the standards of honor and the standards of recognition in your age is about how you look, how you swag, how you carry yourself, how you dress, and how you talk. Those things are important only in your time. At a particular time, nobody cares whether you say church or shush. Nobody cares. What they care about is the value you communicate, the strength that you show, and how many people can buy into that quality and that strength. Now, you need to understand that clear from now. Otherwise, you will be part of those people who forget that they are handsome fools, and they are beautiful dummies, and they are 6 foot tall, broad-chested, empty minds. And then you have some jeep driving, lucky living drifters, all the same. The idea is that at some point, it's going to go beyond all of what you see. If you find somebody attractive only because of how you look, you are a great entity looking for space, small and incapable of drawing respect. You need to understand that when you look at people, you need to look beyond what you see. There's nobody in this room, no matter what you wear, you can't get my respect simply because I have the cheapness of seeing you. Any fool can see. You don't need formal training to know how to see. You just need to have eyes. It's a gift of nature. So if you can package yourself very well and I'm able to see you, I don't care. Hello, I don't care what I've seen until you begin to talk so that I can judge the strength of how articulate you are. And then until you begin to model and practice what you say, then you can begin to earn my respect. That is why love at first sight has to be silly, stupid, and impossible. The idea is that at some point, you accept that this world is not yours. It's called Earth. Your surname is not in it. So when you understand that it's not yours, then you have to embrace the protocol and submit yourself to that protocol. There's nobody in this room that can swim on his terms. You don't jump into the swimming pool and swim the way you want. There's a protocol to swimming. Everybody that must swim must accept that protocol. If you insist on swimming on your own terms, nobody will stop you. You will have your way, but you will drown on your own terms. Because there's a way to swim. In this world, there's a way to swim, guys. There's a way to think. There's a way to carry yourself. There's a way to talk. There are things to embrace, standards to follow, principles to embrace. There's a way to culture your life so that 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, the power in the people who reign today will become unnecessary and meaningless, because reigning in the short run is a possibility, but reigning in the long run is a responsibility. And you have to understand the difference between the two and to understand what part of that is important to you. So when you then ask a guy like me, what do you want to do with your life and what do you want to do after school and being a 7-star worker, can I come down, please? So, and all of the wisdom. Can the microphone handle that? Can the microphone handle that? Okay. Now listen, and listen well. One of the first things you need to understand now is this. The strength of a material is universal appeal. The strength of a material is in its universal appeal, its global weight, its universal application, its international bearing. What does that mean? It means that this wristwatch must be a wristwatch in every country. It must be a wristwatch in every country, whether in Sudan, Iraq, Syria, or Switzerland. This wristwatch must be a wristwatch everywhere. What does that mean? It must pass the test of universality. If all this wristwatch can do is to pass the test of locality and fail the test of universality, then something is wrong with the watch or something is wrong with those who observe it. The idea is that once you are a shoe in any economy, in any environment. You can be a blown shoe in Iraq, but you won't be a blown table. Once you are a shoe, you are a shoe. Once you are tall, you are tall. You can't be tall last night in Brazil and be short 2 days after because you crossed the border. Because you crossed the border. Are we together? Hello? Okay, are we together? So, you can't be tall in Brazil last night and be short in Lagos 2 days after because you crossed the border. You can't be fat in Jos last night and be skinny in Lagos because you traveled south. Once you are fat, you have to be fat. Once you are tall, you are tall. Once you are a jacket, you are a jacket in any economy. Once you are a fan, you are a fan. Once you are an AC, you should be an AC. If you are a microphone, you should be a microphone everywhere. The Americans should agree that you are a microphone. The Japanese should agree that you are a microphone. Everybody should agree that you are a microphone. Once you are a millionaire, you should be a millionaire in every currency. You can't be a millionaire in Naira and be a thousandaire in pounds. You are never a millionaire. Alright? What has happened is that the smallness of your environment, the deposit of ignorance in your space, have empowered you with a level of honor that fails the test of universality but passes the test of locality. So in your smallness, not because you are anything special, but because of the deposit of ignorance in your environment, you are defined as a special quality that essentially cannot generate attention beyond your space. So what does that tell you? It means that you are small. It means that you are small because if you want to be a millionaire tomorrow, all you need to do is to take 10,000 naira and go to Zimbabwe. You are a millionaire immediately. Except that only you'll be eating a loaf of bread, only you, for about 2 million Zimbabwean dollars. The idea is that once you are failing the test of universality, the ignorant majority who observe you here can praise you, but you are failing a major standard, but you have deceived yourself by allowing the standards of locality to tell you who you are. So if 1 billion fools say you are wise, how wise are you? If 1 billion madmen say nobody is normal but you, will you rejoice? 1 million madmen say nobody is normal but you, you say, hey. That will make you the king of fools, right? And that will make you the champion of lunatics, isn't it? So it's not about how many people are praising you, who are they? What do they know? Where do they stand? What do they understand? If 16 million people are praising you in Nigeria, who are those people? Who cares who they are? In the table of power, global dynamics of exchange, who are those people? Stardom on its own is relative. You can be a star in your family, it doesn't make you a star. Once you are a star, look at the star. Can anybody doubt that it is a star? No. Can't you see something here? So if in this school you are ready, and the people in your school don't think so, something's wrong with you. So if you are ready in this school, and you are feeling cool, and then no other environment acknowledges the strength and the quality of what you've got, you are on a journey, you have not arrived yet. You need to calm down, obey your present, and then respond to the demands of your future. Otherwise, you are making a big mistake. You understand what I'm trying to say? You understand what I'm trying to say? Am I talking to you? So guys, start thinking. Start finding new principles and new standards to embrace. Understand that at the end of it all, it comes down to how well you are able to generate universal attention. Think of what Japanese are doing. If you had a 2-1 here, don't rejoice yet. What does 2-1 mean in Tokyo? What does 2-1 mean in Florida? What does it mean in Silicon Valley? What does it mean in Bombay? Don't rejoice by the weak standards of your environment. Rejoice by the total quality that the globe can offer. And when you understand that you are changing the game, and that is putting you on a different plane, you and those who don't understand that we look the same way, probably even act the same way, but your goals are different. They have a goal that is close to them because of the short-sightedness that they are operating with. But you see from a global perspective, meaning that no matter what you achieve locally, you are content, but you know it's not enough. Am I talking to you? So what do you want? You want to have a car, right? Look, a car is not a testimonial. A car is a tool of effectiveness, a tool of efficiency and speed. If it gives you any other feeling outside those three, it is your years in poverty that have made it so for you. You know, some people are so poor, all they have is money. You know, you didn't hear that. And by the time you weigh that money on a scale, you see that it's some kind of small money that small people understand. Because at 200 million naira, you don't have 1 million pounds yet. And somebody is a billionaire in pounds. At 200 million naira, you don't have 1 million pounds yet. At 160 million naira, you don't have $1 million yet. You don't have $1 million yet. And somebody is a billionaire in dollars. We need to calm down. There's so much arrogance in the system. I called my friend who is owning the whole world. Everybody's looking for him. I was watching CNN and I saw Bill Gates stepping down from a car. I called my friend. I said, look, your car is the same car that Bill Gates is stepping down from now. You and Bill Gates are driving the same car. Can't you see that you are sick? And the whole world is looking for you. The banks are chasing you. Everybody is looking for you. This is the richest man in the world and you are sharing a methodology. You should be bothered. And what do you have? When somebody is able to look the part, act the part, talk the part, it qualifies for honor in your space. That is the only way a fool can put his hand under your blouse. That is why one no-name clown can just come around you, say a few words and spin your head, and then the next thing is that he's putting you on a wall. That's why one girl can just appear, you know, say a few things, and all your little money is going on shawarma everywhere. I want to bring this roof down if possible. Is this thing? What? Hello? Can you all hear me? Okay, can you all hear me? Okay, this is it. Now, so we need to slow down and take a second look at our environment. And please, if I use the word stupid, if I use the word foolish, I'm not being arrogant, I'm not insulting anybody. Foolishness is not an insult. It's a state of existence. Listen, it means there is a set of behavior that conforms to a definition. And if you cannot call a carpenter a surgeon, or a rapper an architect, so we cannot call a wise person a foolish person, or a foolish person a wise person. So if somebody is foolish, it's not arrogance. I'm describing a state. If you don't even like that name, you should change who he is, period. So I really can't. Alright, are we on the same page? So some of your friends are fools. And you'll be surprised the one that you are. You'll be surprised. What am I saying? You have one life. That life is fine until somebody comes into it. Everybody in your life is coming into your life for a reason. Some are coming coming for a season, some for a lifetime. Some for a season to pull you down in a season, some for a season to lift you up in a season. Some are coming for a lifetime to keep you small forever. And some are coming for a lifetime to keep you big forever. The difference in the knowledge to know the difference in people is the difference in your life. You can't accept everybody. People have all kinds of intentions. You need to have a wall and a set of standards that allows you to let people qualify for the investment of your time and the investment of your energy. Everybody can take you far. There are some people, they are drained. Their energy is to drain you. You have to know the difference because life is one. Whether you like it or not, every moment is ticking. You die daily. Every day you live, you are getting closer to your day of death. You are using up a quality that cannot appreciate in value but to depreciate. It's called energy. Energy has a lifespan. Whether you like it or not, it's going to fade one day. That's a synonym for retirement. One day you are going to be at the departure lounge of life. At that point, energy is faded, retirement is sure, death is guaranteed. The quality of your life at that time is proportional to the kind of people you bring into your life. That's the future. That's the whole arrangement about life. Look, you really can't have a lousy life now and tell me about some dream about a great future tomorrow. Those things are nonsense. There's no such thing called a future anywhere. None. A future is an idea. It's not a reality. Have you ever been in the future before? Yes! Today was once a future. Yesterday was a future. Tomorrow we call it a future. When we get there, we're going to call it today. The idea is tomorrow is always an experience. Sorry. Tomorrow is always an idea. Yesterday is an experience. Today is your only critical platform of exchange. When you say good morning, you only say good morning because you are in the morning and you are experiencing it. You say good afternoon because you are in the afternoon and you are experiencing it. You say good night because you are in the night and you are experiencing it. Have you ever said good future to somebody before? No, good future. You have never said good future. Why? Because you will never be present in the future enough to acknowledge it as an experience and to share it with people. Never. So the future is an arrangement by God to manage your curiosity, to manage your sense of fear, your sense of the unknown, your ignorance, and to keep you optimistic, enthusiastic about the future. But truth is, the whole idea of the future is to keep hope alive, to keep you responsible in the present, so that you can close the gap between what is possible and where you are. Are we together? You are welcome. Are we together? Are you sure? So, don't define the future outside your today. So are we here? Yes. So, what's my advice then? My first advice is to think global. My second advice is be cautious with people. Audit before you commit. Most people are in relationships. You are not in relationships. You are in a soccer game. Where somebody is the soccer and somebody is the soccer. And you are draining each other, or somebody is draining you, or you are draining someone. You need value in your life. When people tell you, can I be your friend? Ask them, what are you bringing to the table? Why should we be friends? And let me tell you, most of the time, if you dare to ask why, they have no answer. Somebody says, I love you, and you say, why? You be sure? They have no answer. You say, well, just say, why? Nonsense, or you know the talking nonsense because, quite frankly, he's at a level of shallowness, and he has assumed that all his observers are at that same level of shallowness. So when he communicates from that shallowness, he doesn't expect intelligence. So every act of intelligence is an interruption to his own order. So once he speaks shallowness, and then you respond with intelligence, is incapable of sustaining coordination. And one of the fastest ways to discern foolishness is to speak in the reverse. What does that mean? Ask why. Take the person back to his first level of thinking. Can we do business together? Why? He has no answer. Why? You know, we just make money. That is why there's no such thing as a wrong boyfriend or a wrong girlfriend or a wrong business There are only faulty decision-making systems in people. No, there's no such thing like, you know, my wife is this. No, you are something that created who your wife should be. And what you need to learn, more than anything, let me tell you something. I maybe I should close with this because I need to be rushing out. Listen, there's a big difference between academics and education. Academics is what you are taught. Education is what you teach yourself. Academics is organized. It is what allows the system to recognize you in a format. Academics is what allows you to be recognizable, transferable, and rewardable. But within a system, education is the ability of the human spirit to take a look at its environment and to question it, and to find options in that environment and to know the ones to embrace as a matter of supreme urgency. That's education. Now, if you have all the degrees in the world and you can't do that, you are not educated. You are academically correct, but you are illiterate all the same. Once you are educated, you have received the power to make the choice between good and better. To make the choice between good and bad, any fool can do that. It's like making a choice between black and white. Anybody, look, it's a gift of nature. You just need to be born. You can make that. You don't need formal training to know what is good and what is bad. But can you make the choice between good and better, or better and best? And that is a problem for most girls in choosing a boyfriend, or in accepting a husband, or for most guys in choosing a girlfriend. See, in America, the environment is so conscious that people don't make the choice between good and bad. They rarely. When you have two presidential candidates, it's about good and better. Both of them are qualified to be president in any other country. It's only in America that they'll be judged by a higher standard. So the electorates, the people who are going to make the choice, who are looking at them, are not making a choice between bad and good. They are making a choice between good and better, between better and best. Now that's a superior decision to make. And that tells you how educated the system is. In this environment, that is too sophisticated a decision to attempt to make. The kind of decisions we are still making is the decision between bad and worse, or between good and bad and best. Am I getting to you? You need to educate yourself by ensuring that even if the system fails, it is the system that has failed, not necessarily the people in it. Because as I speak to you now, all of what we call bad reputation in Nigeria is sustained by less than, our time is up, I need to be going to the airport. All of what we call bad reputation for Nigeria is sustained by less than 10% of Nigeria. There are so many good people in Nigeria you have never met. But the bad people in Nigeria, because nuisance travel faster than good news does. So when people are stupid, it's easily noticeable that when people are smart, intelligent, and wise. Because wisdom can be abused in the short run. Nuisance can gain attention immediately. For example, if somebody begins to strip now in this room, everybody will stop listening to me, they will look at the person. Though I'm communicating big value here, but because what I'm doing is wise and good, and what it's doing is nuisance, it will generate more attention. Now, what is nuisance? It's actually nuisance value. That is the value of your contribution to the underdevelopment, disorderliness, and irritation of society. For example, driving one way. You drive one way, you are contributing to the underdevelopment, the disorderliness, and the irritation of the system. Now, so many people on a daily basis are communicating that kind of value. Confidently ignorant, assertively stupid. And there are people like that all over the place. You don't have a problem with one of those people. They are free to be foolish, because somebody must be foolish for wisdom to have value. So, the recklessness in embracing foolishness is the pathway to the definition of your own quality. So, allow fools, they should even increase. The more they are, the easier it is for you to create your own space. So, you have no problem with those who have made the choice to be weak and small in their foolishness and nuisance. You have more things to worry about the kind of quality, the kind of strength you can show. And that is personal. It has nothing to do with anybody. That's a personal thing. So even if society refused to reward the standards of the kind of pathway that will take you to the place of leadership, you will do it anyway because it's personal. Am I talking to you? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. So, in dropping this mic today, I'll leave you with one advice. That advice will be this. While you are in school, please do one thing. I beg you in God's name. Read. Read and read well. Get the best grade possible. When you are done reading, remind yourself that this grade is not the pathway to my increase in life. This grade is important, but this grade is not enough for me to move to the next phase, except I choose to educate myself. And that education, most of the time, is not in the classroom. It's outside of the classroom and outside of this environment. It's every day as you relate with people, as you learn to love, as you learn to give, and you learn to serve. I don't know anybody in the world that knows how to love, that knows how to give, and knows how to serve, that will be unfruitful in the recognition of his power. I don't know who that person is. When people tell me they don't have a job, joblessness, unemployment is a synonym for pride, it's a synonym for lack of creativity, it's a synonym for poor people network. So if you don't know how to do anything, learn how to be humble. Learn how to respect everybody. Don't be a respecter of persons, be a respectful person. When you are a respectful person, you respect everybody. The gate man, the security guard, your house help, your lecturer, your friends in school, your classmates, your roommates, you respect everybody. When you are a respecter of persons, you first of all have to know what people carry before you know what will unlock your honor. That's small. Have you heard it? So be a respecter of person. Learn to love, learn to give, learn to serve. Stay humble, all right? And then stay creative. Somebody didn't have a job. He finished school, he didn't have a job at all. I've shared this story again and again. He made up his mind that once I finish school, I won't be jobless for one day. When he finished school, there was no job. The only job he saw was what? Guess what? Security guard at a fast food restaurant. Some people, even there was people who don't know God, you'll be so full of faith, you will say, I reject it. You know. But you know what he did? He took the job. And he became a security guard at a fast food restaurant. Every day we go to school. First of all, that's humility, isn't it? Yeah. That's humility. Let me say this to you. If you finish school and you are jobless for more than 90 days, you don't need a job, please. You need a therapy. Somebody needs to lock you up and talk to you about how to use life. You are chronically ignorant because you really can't be jobless. I have to say this quickly. Now, this guy got a CV, 10 CVs, 15 CVs per day. He will go to his office like that. When he's parking cars at the restaurant car park, he'll be speaking the best grammar and showing the highest level of consciousness and respect. Madam, good morning. You want to park your car? You park your car here. Some people will insult you. Okay, you don't need to say, I'm so sorry about that delay. Please hold on, let me attend to this, madam. And he'll send everybody out. And once he finishes parking, he'll give them, I'm a graduate, man. I'm a graduate, man. Graduate, sir. Graduate, sir. Graduate, sir. First of all, humility to accept that job. Secondly, creativity to use that job. And then in being humble and being creative is building a strong people network. Because anybody can go to the fast food. If you want to know the powerful people in the fast food, go to the car park. Anybody can walk into ShopRite. Anybody looks the same inside ShopRite. But the car park separates everybody in ShopRite. So the power center, listen. So the power center in ShopRite is not in the ShopRite environment. The power center is the car park. So if you have a job at the car park, you are more powerful and building more network than if you have a job inside the ShopRite itself. So this guy got a job at the car park. He took it humbly. He was creative there, sharing his CVs to everybody and reminding them that despite my state, I'm a graduate, is the imbalance of the system, but I'm going somewhere. He didn't spend more than 2 weeks there. He got 4 offers. Today, he's working in an international bank. He's at executive director level. He's very rich, comfortable, and travels around the world. The difference for him was not the goodness and the sanity of the system that provide jobs. No, but the refusal of the human spirit, his human spirit, to back down or be defeated. To say to himself that if I am born, I'm a human being. I have the right to think and to solve problems. That is my destiny and my choice to grow and to expand. And that if I made up my mind to see value, I will see it. It's just a matter of time. I will use all that I have, my thinking, my brain, my humility, and my honor to connect to people and to supply the best of what I can afford. And it's only a matter of time. Very soon, the same people who saw me small will see me at the top. That's the way it works.